knowing the improvements, the functionality, and all that. Okay, so just give me a moment. So this is what's featured. And then the first important feature I'm going to take you through is the map viewer beta. So how am I going to do this process? I'll be telling you or describing to you the new feature and then just doing a short demonstration so that you can be able to understand how that new functionality works. Now, the first is the map viewer beta. Now, if you've worked with ArcGIS Online, if you have been a user of ArcGIS Online for a while now, you may have noticed that whenever you want to create a map or you have a layer, you wanted to add it to a map, there is a pop-up that will come up telling you or asking you, choosing to go the map viewer way. So from the simple map creation to using a beta application to create your maps. So what is the map viewer? This is an advanced look into the web mapping capabilities. So if you don't know, just to mention about the map viewer and the key features it includes. So we have a new intuitive look and layout for designing your maps. Immediate feedback and response, again, when you're filtering and symbolizing your data. You have got more flexibility and customizability, again, when you're trying to configure your pop-ups within your data. Smart mapping styles like dot density. We also have new options for displaying and symbolizing your data, including we have stunning color ramp options, etc., etc., and also group layers. Something you should also keep in mind or to notice that the beta, just as the name suggests, is still in development. So not yet, you may not find all features available. So don't worry if you don't find a feature available. As we progress and as more updates, we do more updates regularly, we will be updating and keeping you again posted about the new features in the map viewer. So what's with the latest release? There have been several enhancements that have been added to the map viewer. And the first is the cluster labeling. Now, what is cluster labeling? Or describing basically about clusters. So a question I can put across, have you ever used clustering and thought to yourself, how many points are in that specific cluster? So you can have some points, be it schools, be it trees you're working with, be it any specific point data. Then you do some clustering and you're like, how many points are really in this cluster? So with this new release, you can be able to see how many points are in that cluster by a label that actually appears on that specific symbol. So this makes it easy for you to see where there is a concentration of points in your data and know now exactly the number of points. So to work on this is ArcGIS Online. I'm going to go to my ArcGIS Online. This is my content page. And then I'm going to access the map viewer directly. To do this, I'm going to go to the app section and then just do the map viewer beta. So here it's loading the map viewer. And then from here, we're going to proceed and add data. So as you will all see, or all view, there will be a difference between the simple mapping we have actually been doing in ArcGIS Online, and then now there is the one that we are actually using the application. Sorry about this. Oh yeah, there we go. So just to explain the interface, if you've never used it before, here we have the title where you can put the title just right at the top where I'm pointing my cursor. On my left, we have some options where you can view your layers, add data, base map, etc. We have the middle where we have the map, where you can now view your map. And then we have on the further right, some options that you can be able to utilize, such as the properties, styles, so on and so forth. So the first thing I'm going to do is add data. So I'm going to browse for some layers within my content, and the first I'm going to look for is with regard to hospitals. So let me add some hospitals. Here we go. So there are quite a lot. It's a heavy feature. Let's give it some time for it to load. Okay, I'm just waiting for the symbology. As it waits, on my right, we already have the properties. So it has already identified my data. Now the properties, enable of legend, that is okay. Now there are my points. I can decide to change some styling a bit, but for now, I think I will leave it as that, and then we can proceed. So I want us to do clustering. On my right, there's the option of clustering. Let me just close this. So I go to clustering, and then I'm going to enable clustering. Remember, as I said, the new feature is about the labels. So here, I enable it. Some options are supposed to appear. Here we go. And then on my map, supposed now to label the features. There we go. So here we can see the clusters. So you can see the highest value, the numbers, and the good thing about this, you can play again with the labels itself. Playing with the label means you can change the style. Right now, it's actually white with a halo of some dark gray. You can change it to suit your background or your symbology that you have. So for me, it now becomes easy to be able to tell how many number of features are in a specific cluster. Another feature we have is the group layer. Now, what happens to the group layers? If you've worked with the desktop software, when you have loads of data sets, and then you want to arrange them, you actually can do that thematically. So you can cluster or group your layers, your data, so that you don't find it cumbersome to actually work with those specific layers. Now, this feature has also been introduced to the map viewer beta, and it lets you organize your data thematically. Now, for here, I'm going to again add some data, and then we see this in action. Remember working with group layers, so I go to browse. I'm going to add some data here. Some schools, educational facilities. Let me add this. So here it's let's give it time for it to load, and then we can see. So I'm giving it time to load the symbology. Meanwhile, from schools, I can add a different set. So I'm going to look for counties. And then I'm going to add this data set. Then I'm going to go to my layers. And then from here, I'm going to do the grouping. Now, the first thing, we have the educational facilities. We also have the hospital facilities, and I want all these to go under social amenities. So to rearrange this is as easy just as drag and drop. Don't worry about the arrangement. So for this, I'm going to do hospital facilities. You just click on the three dots, and then I just say add to new group. So I expound on this group so I can see my hospital facilities here. I'm going to rename this group layer specifically to social amenities. And then just say okay. And then I'm going to take my educational facilities. I'm going to do is drag and drop. So I'm just trying to show you the concept of how to go about it. Here we have education. So I have the educational facilities and the hospital and the social amenities. Then I can group these remaining boundaries as administrative boundaries. So I have the counties, I also have the constituencies. To do this, all I have to do is just the same process, add to new group, rename this group. So this is administrative boundaries. Then just say right. And then from here, I'm just going to drag down there. So there you go. It's as simple as that. So I have my group. So this functionality is the newest in the release. Now proceeding to a new functionality we have is the blend mode. Now what is blend mode? Let me just try and summarize it. So a blend mode takes two or more layers and then blends the pixels normally drawn by each layer. Now based on the rules inherent to each specific blend mode. Now let me simplify it. Most of us have used layer transparency before. So you have got a bunch of layers, you also have a base map, but you want to see clearly or visibly some of the features. Now, how do you go about it? You have usually, or we have usually enabled the transparency, but it usually suffers from two big drawbacks. One, it affects the entire layer equally, and then it tends to wash away everything out into something very, very dull. Now, the blend mode allows far greater control over what shows through, and again, how the colors and the textures will appear between the layers. So I'm going to enable, again, map viewer. We're working with map viewer. Just give me a moment. Yeah, there we go. It's taking some time, but apologies for this. So we just need to access the map viewer, and then what we're going to do is add some layers. So I'm going to add data, and the first data I'm going to load is for counties. We want to see how the blend mode works. Counties. So let me add this. The next data set I'm going to change is with regard to the base map. I'm just giving it some time for it to load. So I'm going to go to the base map and then change to hillshade. So let me search for the hillshade. Here we go. Now I'm going to add population density. So back to the adding of data. So I'm going to search for population density. I'm going to use the ArcGIS Online option so that I can get extra options. So I'm going to just press this add button to add it into my map. Okay. So let me go back to layers. And then now from there, we can proceed. Now, I wanted to see, because I've added the hillshade and then I have my own data set, I wanted the hillshade at least to blend with my population density. Now, what we were doing before was, sorry, just give me a moment. Under transparency, I just blend this out. So I can now see, so I'm at 56, I can see some bit of the background, that is my base map, the hillshade, and then I have my data set on top. So what I was saying, you find that your data set is a bit washed out. Now let's see how the blend tool works. So I'm going to return this to normal, that is 0, and then I'm going to go to blending. So they're supposed to bring options, yeah, and here we go, and then I'm going to use option of multiply, and then we can see. So you can see already the blending is in effect. I can still see my hillshade, that is from the base map, but my layer pops, it stands out. So now this is the new feature. There's a lot of blending options available. You need to know what each does. There is some documentation about it. Just read through it and you can know. But you can now see the difference between transparency and blending. The layers pop out as opposed to transparency where everything becomes washed out. So those are the features with regard to the map viewer. We also have other features now. This is with regard to accounts and administration. The homepage. We have the new homepage editor. By now, if you are an administrator, you've worked with the homepage, you've seen how you can modify it, but really what's new? For those who don't understand or don't know the homepage, let me try and explain. So this is basically your landing page of your organization's website. So it serves as the primary gateway for your user community, where you can now put your useful resources, be it maps, be it apps, and let the user actually be able to access and use it. So it's the visible face of your organization and the context for finding and using specific maps and applications. So what is the new feature? What has been brought about is the ability to include the website URL and email links in your body text and the item gallery summary. So we're going to see this in action. I'm going to go to the settings page. Sorry. I'm going to go to organization page. So I'm going to leave the site. Oh, okay, good. This is working. So under the settings, from here, I'm going to try and add the website URL. So for instance, I just want the people accessing our site to be able to visit the website or find more information about us, or email link, for instance, to how they can possibly reach out to us. So instead of going through a long process, things have been eased up, and it's as simple as accessing your homepage and then launching the editor. And then from here, I'm going to go to the body. There's a specific section I wanted to edit. So here I have the down section, collaborative information site. Now I wanted to add some extra information about our website, how you can reach us to our website, or possibly how you can reach us through email. So how do I go about this? Now under the body in the edit section, I might just press enter. So whatever I do on my left, you'll actually see it happen on my right. So I'm going to add one to normal, then visit us at this specific. So I'm going to put my brackets first, then say this is Esri Eastern Africa, close brackets, then open another bracket. Then this is now a HTTPS link. And then this is www.esri.com, and then I close the bracket. So on my right, we can already see it's a link provided. Now I'm going to also enter an email, or to reach us, you can reach us through, that is tech support at esri.com. So there you go. So those are the features we can add. We also have the add link up here, but I've just used this method, then say save. So the home, that is saved. Now all I have to do is go back to the home page, and you'll be able to see that in effect. So when I click the link, again, it will redirect me to our website. Vice versa, if I need to use the email, it now brings up the application dedicated for emails. And then I can be able now to write an email that is to us, Esri Eastern Africa. So as this one loads, I think I'm going to proceed to the next, and then I'm going to come back to this. Oh, okay, good. Okay, as this one loads, let me proceed to the next, and this is with regard to organization management. So what's involved with the organization management? So you now have more control over the apps that members can use. So as an administrator, you can block a member's access to applications included with the user types that cannot be controlled through specific licenses. settings, or again, the privileges. Now, blocking access to these to the apps more so, removes it from the member's app launcher. So from the app launcher, if a member actually goes to the app launcher, they'll not be able to access or see that specific application. Now, how do you go about seeing this? This is let me reload this. And then I'm just going to show you from the settings once again. Apologies for the slow speeds. Sorry. So here we go. Under settings, usually under security, let me just explain where to get it. In security section, there is now the option for blocked apps. So from there, you can now manage those specific apps. Okay, good. So as I said, in there, you actually go to settings directly, organization, the settings, under security. Security is down here. And then we have the blocked apps. All I have to do is say manage. And then from here, I can now manage my blocked apps. So I just check the ones that you don't want users to use and then block it. Now, the app launcher is actually just beside my profile. When I click on it, this is where the apps appear. So your users will not be able to find those specific applications, and they will be restricted only to, for instance, administrator for usage and all that. Now we have another functionality. This is the sorry about that. I've been told that the screen just disappeared for a moment. So I was going through the organization management, and I was talking about the sharing, blocking of applications. So you are able to do it directly from the security section. So from the security down here, there's the blocked apps. So all you have to do is click on manage. I hope my screen is visible to you all. So you can click the blocked apps, and then from here, just check the ones that you don't want to be used. And then I was showing you the app launcher section. It's just beside the profile. And from here, you'll now be able to see applications that have been restricted. Oh, sorry, you will not be able to find those applications in this section. So that is the easiest way of managing applications. So you can decide that you don't want people to access the hub, for instance. You can now remove it from the app launcher. Another feature, we have the organization monitoring, and this is with regard to reports. Now, as an administrator, you are actually responsible for configuring your online account, ArcGIS Online account, and this is more so to meet your organization's needs and also the structure, especially during setups, or if you need to do any changes or take advantage of any new capabilities. So it is usually very equally important to regularly maintain things like, or features like your members, your items, your groups, to just leave it uncluttered and optimally useful for your own members. Now, maintenance tasks usually include the monitoring usage, credit usage, and all that. Now, what has been included in this release? We have the credit reports. So it provides a detailed breakdown. It provides a detailed breakdown of your weekly and monthly credit usage per member. So it includes credit consuming activities we have, such as the geocoding, we have routing, we have analysis. Now, to do this or to access reports under your organization, the status, I just click on reports. And then from here, on my left, click create report. So it's going to give me options of the report type I actually need or require. So clicking here, I have the activity, I have the credit, the item, the member. So with the new release under credit, you are able now to see, even select the duration. Here I can select the month. I can select the year. For instance, I can choose 2020. I can choose the month that I need. And then from here, I can say create report. So it will create a report. Oh, sorry, let me take a different month because I'd already created it. So choosing again the credit. I'm taking 2020. So let me take September. So this is the month for September, and then I say create report. So here it is, your report is being created. It will appear in the list once it's completed. So this is actually the list. It gives you the title. You can change the title. I didn't rename mine. When it was created, the owner, so on and so forth. So when it's done, there you go. You'll actually see it as the first option. So you can click it, download, and then it opens for you. It's usually CSV. You open it in your Excel file. So as it proceeds, I will come back to that and show you the end result. I want us to proceed with other enhancements. We're looking at other enhancements, and the first one is the ArcGIS Companion. So what is really the ArcGIS Companion? So it makes it easy for you to use the ArcGIS from your mobile device. Initially, we've been using the mobile browser option, so just the URL. But now we have an app where you can be able now to access your ArcGIS account directly from your mobile device. So this is all available for iOS and Android. And again, simplicity is that, or the good thing, you can access it anywhere, anytime. You can view your content groups or any other feature related. So what I'm going to do is connect. I'm going to connect my phone. And then I'm going to access ArcGIS Companion. As I said, it's found in both Android and iOS or operating systems. So here it is. I'm going to just double click. Logging in, signing in. So initially we were accessing these through URLs, but here it is, I can access information directly from the app. So this is the Discover page. The first page it opens is the Discover. So I have my favorites. I have featured data and information. We can see I have top categories. There is also a lot that I can do. I can manage my account, or not necessarily my account, or organizational account from this page. We have down here, I can click on and access all my information. We have got my maps, we've got layers, we've got scenes, apps, and extra files. If I click on this down arrow just beside my username, I can see my folders, all my folders within ArcGIS Online. They're all there. And then from here, there's the search button down here. So you can get your content, your groups, the members. You can manage members from the same. We also have groups, the groups I belong to. And then finally, my organization tab. So here you can now see details about the organization. So that is my companion. So new features here include the notifications. You can get notifications from here. You can get a lot more other information. So instead of you having to use the URL, all you have to do is go to Companion and then you're good to go. We also have other applications that will be very useful for you as a user. We have the ArcGIS Security Advisor. So let me just close this. Just give me a moment. I just need to leave my screen. Sorry about this. It's not responding. Just a moment. Oh, yeah. Now I'm back. Let me reshare my screen. Yes, so I wanted to show you ArcGIS Security Advisor. So this provides a full rundown of your organization security settings just at the click of a button. So as of last year, ArcGIS Online enforces the use of HTTPS. I think by now, if you're a user of ArcGIS, you've noticed. So why HTTPS? It ensures that all your data is encrypted, improves confidentiality, and also secures your sensitive data. So this was the report. Again, I will show you just towards the end. Please pardon me with that. And then I'm going to go straight to the security advisor. To reach the security advisor, you just go to ArcGIS Trust Center. Under ArcGIS Trust Center, there is an application that launches you straight to accessing your security advisor. So under this, you are able, here, launch security advisor. You're able to launch the advisor, then it will tell you anything that is critical within the account. Anything that is actually okay, anything that needs your attention, and so anything wrong with your links. So ArcGIS Online, and then I'm going to sign in. So I'm going to sign in with my credentials. So there we go. So we can see here already saying the things that need my attention, but I'm not going to look at that. So now I'm going to go to the HTTP because that's what was new. And then from here, I can do my scan. So it will tell me all the links that have issues. So remember, any remaining HTTP only URL are no longer accessible. So right now it's usually just the HTTPS. So here it will tell me all the data sets that had issues and are still using the HTTP. So you just go to it and then try and re-edit so that now your links can become usable. So that is the ArcGIS Security Advisor. We have the another feature, which is the ArcGIS Living Atlas of the World. I don't know if you've heard about the Living Atlas of the World, but just to explain to you about the Living Atlas. So this is a collection of geographic information from around the globe. So it includes the curated maps, we have applications, we have data layers. This is from us, and also from the global GIS user community. So if you have any data, you have any applications that you need to share, you need the world to see, the best way to go about it is to push it through the Living Atlas of the World. Now, what is new about the Living Atlas is the World Imagery Wayback. What is this basically? This is a digital archive of the World Imagery base map. So we have more than 100 different versions of maps archived over the last 6 years. So it lets you browse for changes in your area of interest. As I said, shows you archived versions for the last 6 years. Now, the new tool that we have is the swipe to enable you to see locations clearly. So here I'm going to search for just a place. Let me go to Mount Kenya. Now on my left, you can see the years. As I said, this 6 years. So we shall have it till I think around 2014. Yeah, exactly. And then I'm going to check here only versions with the local changes for this particular area. And then what I'm going to do is enable the swipe mode. And then from here, we can see on my left selection, it's current. And then on my right selection is the year 2014. So there's a slider that's supposed to pop up from here. And then from here, I can now be able to swipe my map and see the different changes. So again, this one, give it time because there's a slider that's supposed to appear in the middle, and then you can now be able to tell the changes apart. That is between the what has really happened between 2020, 2018, we have also 2014, and see the exact changes. Okay, as this one loads, let me just go through the last bit that we have. And this is with regard to ArcGIS Field Map mobile application. So I'm giving this time because the slider is supposed to pop up. That's what I'm waiting for. Still loading. Meanwhile, let me finish up with the ArcGIS Field Maps mobile application. So we are trying to introduce you to the Field Maps mobile application. This is the new data collection application that we or users will be using, and functionality is increasing from time to time. So to access Field Maps, I just go to my phone. So this is the Field Maps. So this is actually going to go back because it has taken me straight to the map. So here I have the maps and have some various information. Now, what is Field Maps for those who don't know this specific application? So it streamlines field workflows by bringing together these specific capabilities into one single application. So we have the simple map viewing, we have high accuracy field data collection and inspection, we have smartphone capabilities. If you've used Collector for ArcGIS, remember we will now be focusing on field maps in the near future. This will be the EAT app. We have battery optimized location tracking. We have tracking capability just right here. We can see my tracks. You can enable this. We have dark mode support for iOS and all that. So those are basically what you can access from the field maps as the new release. But what has been there as the initial release is that you are able to author your smart forms, enable web maps for offline use, manage future templates, configure sharing, and even hide maps from field maps mobile app. So when I mention these, if you've actually worked with the field app, especially collector, you see that much of the functionality has been brought to the field map. So what it does, it brings functionalities. So instead of having very many different apps for field use, why not have one that can have a lot of functionality? And that's why we are introducing the field maps mobile app application. So for that, I think I'm going to stop there. Those are the functionalities we thought that would be best suited for the audience, for you guys, for the region. Yet you'll be able to work and utilize ArcGIS Online further and further. Remember that we're usually in touch with the community. They tell us what they require, they ask for improvements, and then we try and incorporate these improvements so that using now ArcGIS Online or the platform becomes quite easy and not a tasking job for you. Now, with regard to that, if you have any question, please feel free to ask. If you have any question, please feel free to ask. So here is just going back to the download and then trying to access that specific CSV. So here it is. Let me just save it on the desktop. And then load it. If you have any questions.
Hi, Barbara. Please check the chat section. I see Karen Asaba has a question. Is it possible to get a recap? Oh, sorry, not that one. Yeah, it's that one. On this.
Oh, okay. Is it possible to get a recap on that second last add-on on the Living Atlas? Yes, it is. Let me just share once again. I just show you how to reach about it. So as I was saying, under the world imagery, the Living Atlas. Now, as I said, Living Atlas is a collection of geographic information from around the globe. So to reach the Living Atlas, all you have to do is Google, first of all, Living Atlas. Just Living Atlas, it will actually pop up. Then from there, you will see information shared by us, that is from Imagery, and then the global user GIS community. So when you want to get data, you can actually get it from the Living Atlas. Now, what we've added as a functionality is the world imagery way back. It's called the world imagery way back. What it does, we have with more than 100 different versions of the maps that have been archived over the last 6 years. Now, it will let you browse for changes in your area of interest. So if you're in 2020, remember that data will go all the way back to 2014. Now, from here, as I said, I'm very sorry about the slow internet, but I can share with you the link, that's okay, on how to access it. So you just load an area. when you load a type here under the find address, and then on my left, there's the toggle swipe mode. So when I click on this, I can now be able to choose the specific years. Oh, now finally it has come up. Good. So this is the swipe tool I was telling you about. So you are able to check or compare between specific versions. So they're usually the years. I only checked only versions with local changes so that we can be able to see clearly between a specific year, the changes that were actually occurred. So on my left selection, for instance, we have the 2020. On my right, we have the 2014. So with the slider, all I have to do is slide, for instance, and then see if there's any changes that have been done between that period. So it's more so of an archive. Please feel free to actually access the Living Atlas. As I said, if you also have content that you feel the world needs to know about, just share with us. We'll access it. We will work with you to avail it in the Living Atlas. I hope I've answered your question. I hope the question is answered. Remember, you can reach us if you have any further questions. We are here to assist you. We are here to guide you. We want to work with you to be able to enable or make GIS easy for you within your organization. So if there's no any other question, thank you very much for your time. And yes, these will be shared in our social media sites. We have the YouTube. You'll be able to get the video of the recording. So don't worry about this. You'll all get links so that you can be able to access the recording. Again, feel free to get in touch with us. We will assist you in working with the ArcGIS Online.
So thank you, Barbara, for the session. I just want to make sure some people don't leave here without speaking. So if you find it hard to type your question, you can just raise your hand, and then we can allow you to ask the question. If you prefer that, you can just raise your hand, and then maybe you can ask if you find it difficult to type the question. I can see Karen Asaba. Please go ahead and ask your question.
Okay, I'm seeing a question in the Q&A. If you,
Yes.
they're asking about accuracy, I think it hasn't been answered. And also if you could tell us about the resolution of this data.
Okay, so resolution depends with specific areas. They're not all the same. For instance, you can find Nairobi could have better resolution as opposed to somewhere different, and also depends with the type of image. But there's a way of finding this information from the imagery itself. So that is a way I think I can show you. So when you click on an area, it actually brings a pop-up, tells you where this imagery has been acquired from, and any metadata with regard to that specific image.
Is it possible to demonstrate that?
Just hold on. The internet is a bit slow, but let me try and load. So if there's any other question somebody can ask as I try and load the image, and then I just show you how to access that metadata.
So you can raise your hand. You can raise your hand and get a chance to ask.
Okay, so I'm going to share my screen just to show you. When you click on the imagery, it should give you this information. Also, directly from your ArcGIS Online account, you can do it. Now, just give me a moment, I share my screen.
Your screen is.
I'm not sure. Can you see my screen? Oh yeah, yeah,
Yes.
yeah. So when I click on the map, so here I can get the when it was captured, and then the pixels, the resolution, the ground distance, and then the accuracy. So usually, as I said, because of the overlays and all that, images are different. But again, I was also trying to show you a better way of accessing the same directly from your ArcGIS Online account. If you have the imagery base map, when you zoom, actually, you will be able now to see the differences. Unfortunately, this is taking some time. But when you just go to your
Okay, Isaiah, I can see your hand is up. Maybe you can ask a question.
Yes, Victor. Thank you very much for the session. And wanted to inquire, like from the training, you realize that this is all possible with those who have access to enterprise license. What about public users, those who cannot access? Are they able to use such functionalities that you are updating now and then, or how can they go about that?
Isaiah, if it seems Barbara is not in a position to be able to answer that, but if I got you clearly, you're asking whether these updates only apply to public accounts or whether you have an enterprise account or the other versions of ArcGIS. Is that what you're asking?
Yes, I was asking, like from the presentation, it seems like the functionalities are only accessible by those who are using enterprise. And what if, like, for example, I don't have access to enterprise and I want to use such functionalities? How do I do? Or is it a must that I must be connected to an enterprise account?
Thank you, Isaiah. So the updates are done both for our online account as well as our enterprise account. So when we have updates for both the online account and the enterprise accounts. Hope that answers you. In case you have further questions, you can just email us or reach out. We are here to respond to you. You can reach out to us at customer care.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much. All right. Thanks, everyone. I'm not sure if there's anyone else who has any questions. But feel free to reach out to us through the customer care contact that has been shared, and kindly also fill in the evaluation form that has been shared just to enable us know what to do better in our next webinars. And we actually have a series. We also check up our website and our social media platforms. The information to our series of webinars will also be shared. Thank you so much for joining us today.
So yeah, thank you, Evelyn, who stood in for Barbara. And I want to thank everybody else who's been able to join us today. Like I said, the webinar session is being recorded. We will be able to share it in to those who've not been able to attend, or if there's something you would like to go over. So please, I have shared a link there in the chat section to help us. Like you said, we are preparing, we're just starting the year. We have a lot of webinars coming up. Please let us know what you would like to have us feature, or any questions that we'd be looking at. So thank you. It seems Tom wants to speak before we leave. Go ahead, Tom. Tomogola, I see your hand up. You have a question or a comment? Please go ahead.
Sorry, I've just joined. I'm sorry, I've just joined. I was held up at a technical problem, but I'm here now. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Like I said, the recording will be shared, and then maybe any question you have, you can email us later. So everybody else, thank you so much for joining us. Have a good afternoon.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.